Snap-on. Before the trucks, before the weekly payments, before the red toolbox lined up like trophies, there was just a problem. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mechanics were working with heavy, awkward toolkits. Every bolt size needed its own wrench. Slow, inefficient, and frustrating. So that's when Joseph Johnson came up with something rather simple. Interchangeable sockets that could snap on to a single handle. 10 sockets, 5 handles. That was the original set. William Seidman helped turn that idea into a business, and just like that, Snap-on was born. And to be fair, this wasn't marketing hype, it was genuinely better. Faster work, less weight, more flexibility, and that's how Snap-on built its reputation, properly. But that's where they started. So let's fast forward to what Snap-on has become today. Myth. Walk into any serious workshop and there's always one guy. The red box, perfect drawers, everything lined up like surgical instruments. And instantly you get that feeling there's something about him. He's serious, he's invested, he takes pride in his work. Snap-on isn't treated like a tool brand. It's treated like a badge of honour. It's basically the Rolex of spanners. And in the trade that matters because tools aren't just tools, they're identity. But here's the uncomfortable question. Did Snap-on become legendary because the tools are that good? Or because they built the smartest sales, finance and status system the industry has ever seen? So where it really started. The sales idea. The tools were clever, but the real genius was how they sold them. Snap-on realised something early. Mechanics don't want to leave work to buy tools. So instead of waiting for customers, they went to them. And during the Great Depression, they introduced something called time payment. Key detail, payment over time. Tools are now accessible, early versions of the modern finance. And that wasn't just helpful, that was revolutionary. And that idea never went away. The truck was the real invention. And this is where Snap-on separates itself from every other tool brand. Most companies sell tools, Snap-on built a system. A route, a routine, a relationship. The truck that turns up at your workplace every week. It's basically the ice cream van for mechanics, except instead of a 99, it's a £2,000 toolbox on finance. And just like the ice cream van, you don't plan to spend money until it turns up. And that's a key psychology. No effort required, social environment, instant access, and that's not just selling, that's engineered behaviour. But are they actually better? Now let's be honest, Snap-on tools are good. They're very good. Tight tolerances, smooth mechanisms, strong alloys, consistent finish, but here's where it does get interesting. Performance doesn't always scale with price. For example, Barco. Barco sets are fantastic. Mid-tier tool, you get most of the performance. With Snap-on, marginal gains. You're paying a lot more for that last bit of performance. It's like buying a supercar when most of your driving is in traffic.
Never complain about the traffic because you're in it.
Better, yes, always worth it. Well, that's where the argument starts. I mean, where are they made? Here's where the myth gets messy. Snap-on is seen as American made, and yes, a lot of it is. US production in Wisconsin, Tennessee, North Carolina, but Snap-on is also global. And there is manufacturing in Sweden, there's your Barco link, UK, Italy, Spain, China, Brazil. It's a worldwide operation. And that matters because tools are physical products. You've got the steel, the heat treatment, the forging, the quality control. The badge doesn't tell you everything. The process does. And then there's the China part. What do they actually make in China? Well, This is where people tend to get a little bit emotional, but let's keep it factual. Snap-on has real manufacturing in China, producing power tools, diagnostics, blades, tool storage, lifts, undercar equipment. They even upgraded a hand tool facility in that word that I can't pronounce. So this isn't rumour, it's documented. Important balance? Does that mean bad quality? No, not necessarily. China can produce excellent tools if the specification and quality controls are right. But the key question is, are all Snap-on tools built to identical standards globally? And that's a much harder question to answer. As an engineer, I'm interested in the manufacturing process. I'm interested in the steel. Now that is what actually matters, not the badge, the material. Steel is not just steel. Alloy compositions, heat treatments, wall thicknesses, geometry. Two tools can look absolutely identical and perform completely differently. Snap-on talks about carbon alloy steel, heat treatment, proprietary processes. But here's the truth. They don't publicly confirm one universal standard across every product, every country, every facility. So unless you know the exact origin and process, you can't assume they're all identical. Then you've got the finance machine. Now, the finance machine. Now we get to the real business. Snap-on isn't just a tool company. It's a finance company attached to tools. Let's look at the key facts. $412.9 million finance revenue. $281.8 million operating profit. 17.6% returns. They don't sell tools worth £1,000. They sell $25 a week. £1,000 sounds scary. £25 a week sounds like a takeaway. Is that good or bad? Now, let's be fair. Finance isn't automatically bad. It can enable earning, increase productivity, make tools more accessible, but weekly payments make expensive things feel cheap. Start small, stack in the purchases, long-term commitments. You go in for a ratchet, you come out financially committed until 2029. So, who owns Snap-on? Well, Snap-on isn't owned by another tool brand. It's a publicly traded company. The ticker is SMA, which means it's owned by shareholders. Vanguard, BlackRock, all of a sudden it isn't just a bloke in a van selling tools, it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Now, quality and reality. Can we say Snap-on hides quality issues? No. But no manufacturer is perfect. They've had safety notices, recalls, advisories. Premium doesn't always mean perfect. So, the real truth. Well, Snap-on tools are high quality, trusted, proven, but that's not the full story. They've built something bigger. They've given access, routine, finance, identity. They didn't just build tools, they built the only shop where you don't realise how much you've spent until it's too late. So next time that truck rolls in, ask yourself, am I buying a tool or am I buying into the best sales system ever built?